Thanks for the click on this feature story. With 9% of Americans still currently unemployed, investments in rebuilding and repairing our nation's infrastructure have moved to the forefront of the discussion over job creation. Let's face it, what good is any job-creating proposal if, at the end of the day, the jobs and opportunities being created do not lead to a better life for American workers? That's one of the conclusions reached by a new study that's centered upon the community benefits that can occur through the use of project labor agreements. A new independent study just released by Cornell University titled Community Workforce Provisions in Project Labor Agreements, a Tool for Building Middle-Class Careers, might be just the ticket to provide stabilization in an industry which desperately needs help, as well as communities all across America. Public and private construction projects across the United States that utilize PLAs are increasingly implementing community workforce agreements that ensure local residents, particularly women, people of color, and military veterans, are given the opportunity for a brighter economic future. And while the reported unemployment rate is 9%, as referenced earlier, it's actually much higher than that in the construction industry, with some reports as high as 13.9%. The utilization of these workforce development provisions can help and are helping, precisely because they're effective tools for maximizing the benefits of job creation strategies and for creating prosperous career training paths for communities that need them the most. Project labor agreements and unions on a whole are getting a bad rap due to the deliberate mischaracterizations being spread by those who adhere to a race-to-the-bottom business model and are ideologically against PLAs. Numerous and credible studies have been done to refute these mischaracterizations, which consistently center upon three main arguments against PLAs. They limit competition, they're more expensive, and they're discriminatory. All three have been proven false over and over again.
There's been a lot of research done on project labor agreements that demonstrate the cost efficiencies they deliver for construction users and the ways in which they provide high-quality jobs for construction workers, but there's been no really systematic research on the ways in which project labor agreements have been used to create economic opportunity for underrepresented communities and economically disadvantaged populations.
We found that increasingly these project labor agreements are including these provisions to target employment of these groups. And the way they do it is by establishing minimum requirements, usually a percentage of the workforce or of the number of hours that members of these groups should work.
So we show, for instance, that there is increased likelihood that these provisions were enacted in more recent years. There's an upward trend showing that they're becoming more prevalent and that they're also becoming significantly diversified by geography.
The results were astoundingly positive, affirming that PLAs with CWAs are one of the best paths to ensure that we're rebuilding the economy with good jobs and giving the opportunity for people who have been really marginalized in our economy and most hurt by the economic downturn an opportunity to really have good jobs and good jobs that will help to rebuild their communities.
The study looked at 185 PLAs from coast to coast and found that 97% incorporated one or more provisions which encouraged local residents, particularly women, people of color, and military veterans, have a career path to a brighter economic future.
When you're talking about veterans, women, African Americans, Latino workers, having an access to the kinds of jobs that the building trades offers is phenomenal and will have an amazing impact on these communities' recovery.
It's a tremendously good piece of news, and it's not just good, for construction unions. This is good for communities, it's good for the economy, it's good for shared prosperity.
Here in New York City, we've had tremendous success with project labor agreements, both in the public sector as well in the private sector. But it's clear to me that the model of the project labor agreement can work in any city, in any state.
This opportunity was one of the best because I'm very young. As to look at it, I may be among one of the youngest journeymen. I'm 25 years old and I've already completed a 6.5-year apprenticeship. I recognize that I'm in a great position. I have a great career, and I'm looking forward to better things in the future.
America's building trades unions, in conjunction with its signatory contractors, invests almost $1 billion per year in skilled craft training and education, ensuring the best skill sets are sent to the job day after day.
When you have a project labor agreement, you know, first of all, the owner or the taxpayers win. The public at large wins because of the projects that are being developed, and of course, the building trades members and the workers win as well. But beyond that, the smaller contractors have the opportunity now to bid on this work, many of which are non-union contractors. And put it this way, they get an opportunity to work with the union trades, and they realize that it's a better product. They realize that it's a more efficient way of doing business, and in the end of the day, the skill level is much higher.
PLAs assure owners and end users that projects can be delivered on time and on budget. And thanks to this research, it's now known that PLAs can also spur job growth and create careers in construction for Americans in desperate need of a lifeline.
What this report excitingly shows is that literally and figuratively, the building trades, along with the construction companies that they work with, can rebuild and provide the tools that America needs to get America back to work.
I'm not going to waste the opportunity. I'm going to do as much as I can, and I'm going to try to make the best of it so that my career will be a long and successful one.
Project labor agreements make good business sense, and as recent history would suggest, both the public and the private sectors agree. From school boards to municipalities, from Toyota to Walmart, PLAs assure on-time, on-budget results time and time again. And now it's known they also create economic opportunity. America's building trades, value on display every day.